This video is a gameplay example of Pluto Attacks. For this sample we're pretending we have a three-player setup. One person is playing the cheerleader, one the football captain, and one the high school reporter. Each player has one of the small town hero cards. Each card has a quick description of who they are, and you have 3 skills on each one. You've got your popularity, brains, and muscle. Each case the numbers are different, showing how many dice you get when trying to roll to use that skill. The basic deck of cards, we turn a card over to see on your turn. I'll try that again. And it has a alien influence number, the skill required to take the card, how many dice and what values on those dice, and what reward you get if you do capture the card and you turn it in later. This example, say the cheerleader goes first. There's only one card up, face up, so places her token on that card. The skill is strength or muscle, which the cheerleader gets 4 dice. We take 4 dice. So roll, and we end up with, we get a 6, which we can cover for the 4, a 5 for the 3, and a 1 and a 2, which is not good enough to take the 3. Each die you have to roll that number or higher to actually mark that spot. Cheerleader's turn is done. Play goes to the next player. Football captain turns over a card. There are now 2 cards for him to choose from. He decides to go for the robot scout as well. Places his token here. This is a muscle. He's got 5 for muscle, so he'd start with 5 dice. Now, there's already 2 dice out here, so you take 2 dice away, but there's another person, so you add 1 die for the extra person. So he's got his strength, or his basic skill of 5, plus 1, minus 2. So you get 4 dice for this one. Rolls, gets a 5, or the 4s to cover it. He's covered all the spots, so he gets the card. This card goes into his pile, and since it has a reward of popularity, he can turn this card in later for an extra die when trying to get something in popularity. Next player's turn. They get another card. This one has a reward of 2 dice for popularity because it's got a symbol for 2 popularities. He looks at it, he's got 4 dice for popularity, decides to go for the harder one. He's got his 4 dice, there's no other people, so no bonus, nothing on the card, no minuses. Rolls the dice and gets a 5, and used for the 3, a 3 for the 3, and the other 2 are 2, so he misses the other 2. Play goes to the cheerleader. First thing, always turn over a card. This is one of the victory condition cards. It's got the big star for the reward. You're trying to capture 4 of these to win the game. You need to get 4 of these before the deck runs out and before the total alien influence reaches 20. Right now we've got 3 for this one, 2 and 0, so the influence is only 5. The cheerleader takes a look at it and decides, well, we'll go ahead and try it anyway. She's got 5 dice. She needs 5 really good dice. Rolls and gets one of the 5s, gets a couple of 4s, and a 2 and a 1 that don't help. Play proceeds back to football captain. First thing he does is turn over another card. Decides, okay, he would normally get 4 dice for popularity if he was trying to finish this one off. There's 3 out there plus 1 for that. He'd only actually roll 2 dice. Says, that's a little tricky. He decides instead that he's going to try and talk to the school janitor and convince him. He gets his 4 dice on that one. Gets a 6, 2 4s. Obviously plenty to capture that one. Gets another bonus card. Play comes back to the high school reporter, who's still sitting here. Now as long as he sits here, those dice still count. If he decides, I'm going to help the school nurse instead, then he moves to here. These dice come off because there's no one there to keep those dice on the card. He's now got 4 dice to start, plus 1 would be 4, minus 3 means he's only going to get 1 die. And he rolls a 1, which does no help at all. Checking, there's a total of 3, 2, and 2, so they're up to 7 points. Still not too bad. Cheerleader, back to her turn, draws a card, and decides to stay here. Now having the high school reporter on here gives her a bonus die. So she'd have her 5, plus 1 for 6, minus the 3 that are there. Rolls 3 dice. Gets a 6 and 2 4s, and the 6 counts, but the 4s still don't. Play goes to the football captain. Football captain's going to try and help out here. He's going to discard this card. The reward is 1 popularity. So he discards that to get 1 extra die. He's got 2 more dice because there's 2 other people there. So that would be his 4, plus 1 for the card, plus 2, so a total of 7, minus 4 for the dice that are out there. He'd have 3 dice for this roll. And gets a couple of 6s, and we now send everybody back. He gets the card, 6 dice, and the team now has 1 victory condition. Now, you keep playing this way, at the end of each turn, check, we're up to 5 points there. Each player can choose which card they want. As long as someone's there, the dice stay. Having several people gang up on it works well. Some of the bigger cards, some of the cards are pretty straightforward. This one has a reroll. I think it was his turn. If he decides he wants to go for the reroll card, he's got 5 points for brains. Takes his roll, gets a pair of 5s. He can discard this card anytime you want to re-roll any of the other dice. He's going to keep that. Back to the cheerleader's turn. Cheerleader decides to go for the school nurse. That would be a popularity. She's got 5. Quick roll. We get 3 6s and a pair of 2s, which don't cut it. Needs another 3. Football captain's turn. Flip another card. Football captain takes a look at it and thinks, well, he could either help here since this only needs 1 die. He decides instead he's going to try and get one of the reroll cards as well. This is a strength that he's got 5 in. And we get a pair of 5s. Takes that card. High school reporter's turn. It's over. He takes a look at it and decides he's going to try and take this card for the school nurse. He's got 4 for popularity plus 1 for that's 5 minus the 3, so he gets 2 dice. And rolls a 4 and a 6, easily taking it. Cheerleader's turn. Takes a look, tries to get the little sister. The popularity is 5 dice for her. Rolls, gets a 6 and a 5, and gets a reroll card as well. Football captain. Let's say he decides to go for the fire chief. This is a 4 die roll. Popularity 4. Rolls, gets a 4. Gets one of the 4s and a 2, 2, 1, which don't help. He's going to go ahead and spend his reroll card. You can reroll all 3, reroll the 3 dice. Gets a 5 and a 6, and the other one comes up a 1 and still didn't really help. There's no limit to how many dice you can roll, other than the fact there's only 15 dice in the game total, and as they slowly accumulate on some cards, you may not have enough to get those huge ones. Sometimes when you're trying to get the really big cards, the heavy-duty ones, it helps a lot if you've got extra cards to discard to get extra dice, and the reroll cards especially, so that you can make a second attempt at it. At the end of each turn, this one you count up all the points. In this case, it's 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, total of 6. Again, not bad. If that ever reaches 20 at the end of your turn, the alien influence is taken over the town and you've lost. If you run out of the deck and there's no more cards to draw on your turn, then your time's run out and the aliens have taken over. If you manage to get 4 victory condition cards before time runs out or you run out of cards, you've saved the town and become a small town hero. Also, if you really want to play a harder game, you can go for 5 or even 6 of the victory condition cards, which does make it quite difficult. When you're choosing cards for your heroes, pick randomly or take your pick and find ones you like. Each one has a different level of popularity, brains, and muscle. They'll be really good at one of these and really bad at one of them, and so-so at the other one. So having a mix where each person has something different, where the cheerleader has popularity, football captain has strength, chess club, or the high school reporter has the brains, gives you a better chance of kind of spreading out and having a good odds to take any particular card. You have somebody that's got strong in every suit, or in every skill. And that's basically the gameplay, and hopefully that explains it all well, and I hope you enjoy the game. Thank you.